So the first pathway that we actually went into these different counties with was through the mobile phone. We quickly learned that the adolescents that we were targeting had very limited access to mobile phones, and if they did have mobile phones, it was a shared phone, maybe there's something she was sharing with her mom, or she simply had a SIM card. So to mitigate against leaving these adolescents behind, we developed a digital card that would allow this adolescent to enroll onto the platform, access its products and services, still earn her incentives on accessing these products and services, and still be able to relay that feedback to us, even though she doesn't have a mobile phone, with the average being 4.5 rating out of 5 of all these providers on the system. With regards to some of the services, most of the adolescents had been seen to be taking on. Most of these have been short-term methods. With the introduction of additional counties, especially within the Western region, we've seen a large increase in longer-term methods within adolescents as well. Our digital ecosystem to reward positive behavior leads to increased uptake of SRH services. This we've seen through the numbers that I have detailed before. Our incentives increase the adolescent desire to uptake family planning services, purchasing power, and financial independence, as they can use these incentives in the community around them. So the rewards for providers also increase the desire to offer youth-friendly services, as the girls are also being requested to rate their interaction with the providers as well. And the rewards that we do provide to the community health volunteers also allow them to give more accurate information to the adolescents that would lead to higher uptake of products and services. Given the opportunity to rate gives the service providers motivation to also offer judgment-free services and products. And lastly, as all this is done through our mobile platform, the availability of real-time data helps us mitigate the risk of fraud as well. Thank you.
Now I'd call upon Mr. Salim Bakari to come and give his present his abstract.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. My name is Salim Bakari, and I'll be taking through this presentation. So as I talk about this presentation, I'll be referring to the mobile application that is there. So I'm presenting this this presentation on behalf of my colleague Brian Kwenda and Dr. Edith Apondi. So significant background: the number of young people in sub-Saharan Africa who are using smartphones is increasing rapidly, and most of them they use mobile application to get information and news. For example, I think you know mobile application like WhatsApp, others they are going to view Sasa and all that. That means like new trends are coming up, and people and a lot of organizations they are trying to use mobile application. Why do they do that? It's because using the mobile app you can compile or you can just gather a lot of information into one source where a young person, once you have the application, you can get everything. The mobile application is almost 8 MB. That means like with 10 shillings or 8 shillings, you can be able to download the app and install it to your phone. The other thing is that once you install the mobile application in your phone, the app works offline. It doesn't need internet or any data bundles to you. That makes it sufficient and accessible by the young people. And then inside the application, we have the appointment reminder in the app. If you go to the appointment reminder in the app, you will be able to set the date, your clinic appointment, or your time of coming to take your medication. That's another thing that you can be able to set. So it's an option. You can even set your daily activities. Let's say from this day you're supposed to be music, you can just go to the appointment reminder and set. And it will remind you at least a day or 10 minutes before the time of taking your medication, or a day before the day of that you're supposed to come to the clinic. It's another thing. So how do we maintain this application? The app is updated regularly. At least after every 3 months, we update it. We add a lot of content. This is to make it. These updates they normally come from the recommendations that are made by the users. You know, as we come, new information pops up. We found out that we have other contents that we have not added. Like at first, we are only focusing on HIV information. So this is something that helps us to respond and to assist or to link their people. Also, it promotes the community understanding of HIV and reproductive health aspect, thus improving access and reducing stigma. So thank you, and special thanks to all the peer mentors, the youth champions, medics, and all the individuals who contributed to this work. And that means, like, as I said earlier, it's something that we had a lot of support, and this is how it looks if maybe you have not downloaded or still haven't. Once you download the application, this is how it looks. I know this is the content are the same. We have HIV facts, we have reproductive health, and then fine. So under the facts about HIV, you can find all the HIV overview, healthy living, we have HIV treatment and prevention, we have transmission, we have adolescent, we have disclosure, we have relationship, among others. Sample, this is another part of which you can get reproductive health. Here you'll be able to see all the highlights of the basic information about reproductive health issues, sex and sexuality, gender, teenage pregnancy, and family planning. These are some of the content that you can be able to see there. Also, it has the sexual assaults, it talks about rape, among other things. So regardless of which corner or the place that you are in Kenya, you can find a facility near you. That is one. And then this is another talk to a counselor, as I said earlier. These are appointment reminders, as I said earlier. If you go to the corner, you'll find the talk to a counselor. And thank you.
Isaac, I'm from Uganda, representing Rainbow Mirrors. It's a trans women's sexuality organization, and we realize that youths, which are our next generation, are being left out when it comes to our culture. So we were scared at how the sickness of our economy may maneuver when we don't engage youths in agriculture. Erosion from the unemployment is compared by a number of factors, but most discovered by the social attitude towards trans women and unfavorable legal policies and environment. In Uganda, it's terrible when it comes to transgender. So the unfavorable legal policy environment, for example, is intertwined with the Penal Code Act, provision of being identically and being like and vagabond under Article 167 and 186, which purely focuses on the status of individuals, thus driving to prospective criminalize of poverty, which is the socio-economic status, and target community of marginalized persons, among whom include transgender women and LGBTI persons in general. This program looks at era women by formulating small groups, and from economic programs, the different women sexually engaged in, they are encouraged to adopt a saving culture through circles. That's a part of return from our culture. So this evidence by recently, like 2 months back, the circle, the man themselves the circle, and that man that are different from the circle, they set a certain period, like 6 months, we'll be getting our money that we get from the circle, and we do something meaningful. So 2 months back, the man got from the circle, they opened up a very big salon, works with all genders. Can you imagine, works with all genders, not transgenders only, but all genders. That's how productive we can. Liaisons land, self-employment and individual land projects such as agriculture, cosmology for marginalized and criminalized communities is a sustainable alternative to meet their livelihood needs, and in order to realize the specific needs of marginalized community, it's important to and needs assessment while at the same time. Findings of research studies that are an ideal source of information that can form, shape programming for marginalized and criminalized community, such as reducing sex worker. Thank you. I apologize for being nervous.
Good afternoon. As you have heard my name, I will not say it again. I'm happy to be here today. I was really looking forward to be here on Wednesday, but I was not able to because of the flagging off of the Cuban doctors. I was told you have to be in Nairobi and do that on behalf of our governor, so I had to go. But I guess the person who represented me did it better, I think, than I would do. And I'm happy that it happened, it went well. I would like to thank you for visiting, for putting this conference in Eldoret. We're happy that you considered Eldoret, and it has benefits to our youth and also to us too economically. You know, we have, I'm sure, the per diems kidogo zimebaki hapa. So we are happy at least we have learned a lot, and also we are socio-economically we are doing well. I know this forum is good. It's going to open up more open up more options for us, especially for youth-friendly services. We are going to take it seriously. We shall also work with my counterpart in education so that we are able to move this agenda forward. I know our youth have a lot of needs, and we really have to help them. We really have to guide them and give them the services that they require. Otherwise, I'm happy that we have had the hall is still full at this hour, which means the presentations are very interesting. I wish I would join you, but I'm not able to sit through them. Otherwise, I just want to officially close the workshop, even though I know it is not yet closed, but that is what I'll just say. And thank you again for coming to the Loretta.
Is an online platform that provides information on love, sex, and relationships, and we use mobile technology and innovative approaches to bring sexual reproductive health rights information to young people. So Love Matters is, like I said, a project of an organization called RHNK Media, which is a Dutch media organization, and Love Matters exists in the following countries. There's Love Matters Egypt, Love Matters China, Love Matters Mexico and Venezuela, and that's Hablemos there. So we talk about love, sex, and relationships. We are all about being open, honest, and sex positive. And this being sex positive means that we do not talk about sex from using scare tactics, that if you have sex, you'll get pregnant. We are all about giving the correct information so that if a young person makes the choice to have sex, they're aware that there are consequences if they have unprotected sex, and what happens if that happens. So it's just giving the information so that if they do make the choice, then it's from a point of information. So because of our platform and all the other, like the website and the social media platforms we use, we bypass the traditional gatekeepers of information. So the young person has the power of access to this information in their fingertips, on their mobile phones and their computers. So what's our strategy? We have clear goals about what we want to produce based on the information that we get from knowing what the young people are looking for. We do research. All our content on our site, specifically the articles on the website, are science-based and factual. And then we know what platforms the young people are on. So for example, we have the website, but our biggest platform is Facebook. That's where the young people engage with our content. So we share the links from our website to the Facebook platform, and that's where the engagement happens. During campaigns, like for example, events like this, or 16 Days of Activism, or World AIDS Day, we use Twitter as a campaign, because then we engage not only the young people who are on that platform, but also stakeholders and the media. We have great content. All our content are produced by local contributors. So for example, the Kenyan website, all the articles are written by young people, young writers, based on whatever topics the people are looking for. And our content is short, easy to read, and factual, and simple. No medical terms are used. We keep it as simple as possible, because we know our young people don't have time to start Googling for terms. We speak their language in the articles, And yeah, keep it short because they are mainly on mobile phone. So we consider how fast the person can read and how much data they're going to spend being on the site. And the website is mobile responsive, which means you can view it very well on mobile phone as well as desktop. Online communities, like I said, we have a Facebook page that has young people. On top of just producing content, we do online marketing and analytics. And I'm going to mention again Michael Kunson, who said marketing is important. Businesses do it, so we do that as well. And we use analytics to determine, again, what people are looking for and where to find them. We have online campaigns. Again, hashtag RHN in Eldoret is considered a campaign in this case for this conference. We work with partners because we are predominantly online. We're a digital platform. We need partners who work offline with young people to enable us reach them. Other partners that we work with are service providers on our website. And also, yeah, we're looking for partners who are interested in our content on their sites. Because for us, most important is the content is good, but we need it to get out there to as many people, as many young people as possible. And of course, behind every great platform is a great team. Anthony here, who's the moderator, happens to be one of my team members. And then we have an editor, a social media manager, an SEO specialist, 2 moderators who respond to questions live on Facebook, on the website, or via email. And then we also have a designer, hence you see very good visuals. So it's a whole team that is focused on making the platform experience as best as possible. And I think in terms of the youthfulness of the team, everybody, with an exception of myself, everybody else is under 35. And then data, we use data to inform decisions on content, campaigns, and projects that we engage in. And I think now the rest of the section will go pretty quick. We're all about making the content fun, blush-free. We're not afraid to call penis a penis or vagina.
So in terms of referral and linkages, how do you ensure that the young people who reach out to your platform reach out and get the services in the places that you prefer them? Yeah.
Not just for ourselves or for the providers as well, but for the adolescents that were interacting with our platform as well. So even though we had provided some avenues for enrollment and additional information, they would still show up at some of our provider organizations without having enrolled onto the platform. The good thing with technology is that we're able to innovate very rapidly, just looking at some of the data that we do get. So we're able to allow some of the girls to actually self-enroll onto the platform on coming into a provider location or a chemist. So that might also be some of the issues that you might have seen in the first year of operation. Second, as the program did start to move forward, there was a very high need to utilize some of these incentives that the adolescents had actually accrued on interacting with the platform. So we had initially estimated that we'd only need about 10 places where the adolescents would be able to redeem the points. And we focused on fun things adolescents would like to have, such as a movie shop, a salon, and a basic shop. Within about 6 months of our operation, we learned that they wanted more. They wanted to be able to use their incentives the same way they were able to use money. So in our second year of operation, we've introduced key KPIs for even our members of staff on the ground. Adolescents will be able to have, at the very minimum, 10 active places where they can redeem their incentives that they've accrued using the platform, which would enable them to actually utilize their incentives in a way that they would like or in a way that they would prefer to have. And then the last one was on the change in some services offered at a clinic versus a pharmacy. So as I said, the first year was on learning. We learned so much from how the adolescents would like to be spoken to, how they'd like to redeem some of these products and services, and using that learning and using that data, we're able to adapt our program and allow for these adolescents to access the services where they want to get it and when they want to get it. So certain services, for example, oral contraceptives, we moved from the clinic to the chemist because they informed us that this is where they would better like to access some of these products and services. So our program is very receptive to feedback and very receptive to data, and we analyze data on a real-time basis and base our decisions on very heavy data analysis. Having said that, we definitely will work much closely with the providers that we have on the platform to ensure that even as we have this kind of organic growth, that we ensure that it is done in a very coherent way and does not create any miscommunication between partners.
Okay, thank you very much for your questions. I think I'll answer the last question first. Yeah, we totally understand, Michael, that young people do love visuals. I mean, at least we have the visual, print visual, digital visual covered in terms of the pictures. But given the time, labor, and money intensive, what do you call it? For you to be able to produce continuous video clips, that is a need we have identified. But that's why I mentioned we are looking out for content partners. So content partners, if you know of a young person who's producing good quality or video content that young people are drawn to, then we'll be very willing to have some of that content shared on our social media platforms, and then we can see how both parties can benefit. So if you have those names or you know who we should talk to, please share that. We are very open to sharing content that young people are looking for on our platform, so that's not a problem. Because then we are such a small team that we are not able to hire people to do that, so we can have an arrangement to get that content. And people who contribute to our platforms are, we pay the contributors, so that's key for us. Whatever content we source for, we pay for it. The other question was in terms of referral and linkages. If you go to the platform right now, what happens is there is a number of service providers that are listed. But given our expansion into, for example, now that we've moved into Nigeria and potentially we'll be moving into Rwanda, we do not want to keep the number of service providers listed as 200. We want to reduce that to, say, manageable 5 in each country. And that means that if we enlist LVCT as a service provider, then it's easy for us to follow up with LVCT that we sent X number of people from our platform on this day, did they come? As opposed to currently where we have many. So that's something that we are looking at, especially now that we've expanded into Nigeria, and setting up that mechanism. We did approach a certain, I shall not mention because they're in the room, we did approach a certain service provider to help us initiate that whole feedback loop to see if we're sending people to your clinic, are you able to tell us how many have come to your clinic? But then, yeah, it became a challenge. So for us, when we're looking at the referral and linkages, we want to be very clear. If you're getting into a referral partnership with you, we know we are sending 10 people every week to your clinic. We want to be able to give feedback. And it's interesting that she's sitting here because that's one of the things we've been discussing with the triggerers about the whole feedback and follow-up process, given that they have that feedback system. So this is an ongoing conversation that should happen soon. And I think the last question, which I think is more your question, but I'm just going to say, when you look at where young people, I think I was telling Eric this, that we don't have an app because I have so many apps on my phone, but I only use Facebook, Twitter, and WhatsApp. So if I know the young person is on those 3 apps, I find it counterproductive developing, and it's nothing to do with you, I'm sorry, but we found it counterproductive to develop an app to have more people. So So we decided, so we have the content, share the content on Facebook where they are, or they've even asked for WhatsApp, but given the amount of questions or the overload that you can get on WhatsApp, I mean, how many of you are in groups in WhatsApp? And then you're in the office, after about 2 hours you open your WhatsApp and you're like 100 messages, you're like, oh my God, do I read, do I delete? Do I engage, or what do I do? So WhatsApp for us was not an option. So Facebook, and again something Triggerise is doing, is they have a chatbot on Facebook. So the chatbot can respond to frequently asked questions, and then have the counselors take over if the point at which a young person wants the one-on-one conversation.
Our target normally is the people our application targets those people who are either infected and affected with HIV. You'll find after someone has been tested HIV reactive, we have a lot of questions that normally runs in this person's mind. What next? I'm HIV positive. Will I get a child who is negative? Will I ever get married? How can I do disclosure? This is why we came up with the application. So those kind of people, they're people who visit who use our application. We also have those young people who are affected with HIV. Maybe their partners, they are positive, and maybe some of them, they want to have information about HIV testing. Some of them, they use this application to get answers. So our application is there to reach and to address the people who are already in need. And that is why you'll find like most of the people who are using our application, they come and they embrace it further immediately. I'll ask a question. For example, today if I have an issue about my health, the first thing I'll do as a young person is to go online and Google or search, e-science ni nini? How am I feeling? Then from there, I'll be able to go ahead and seek help from medical. So before a young person comes to the health facility, there are some of the things or some of the steps that he or she atakuwa ameshachukua. And majorly, that's why. So the first thing that when they go online, what content are they going to find online? So far, we are working on even including working with LVZT and using the 1190 code so that we can try to increase the online counseling, so that there is no more need to integrate, apart from integrating our services and also networking, so that we can enhance both referral and referrals. Instead, it is something that will always be there. It's challenging, but we need to find and try. We need more of dialogue into that so that it can be complete. That's what I wanted to say in terms of that. Thank you.
Thank you. No question has been related to me. I think you just feel sorry about my nervousness, but I had gained confidence. I just take this opportunity to thank you for the attention you've brought to us of us who are presented. Thank you so much. Special thanks to organizers and sponsors. It has been such a great experience for me. One of the best platforms I'll never forget in my life. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to an end of our 3-day conference. This year's conference provided an opportunity for us to share and learn from experts on how to amplify the voices of the adolescents and youths in SRHR and how to meaningfully involve our young people in our programs. And not only be their spokespeople, but have their voices heard. We had a total number of 175 members attend our conference, and you all contributed in one way or the other. As the host organization, we are speechless. The last time we had such a number, we only had around 115 participants. That goes to tell you how much more we worked hard for us to pull 175 participants. This would not have been a success if we did not have a committee that put in their time, a committee that dedicated, that had sleepless nights to see this a success. To our conference planning committee, which was led by Ms. Kyoga Kagwiria from Planned Parenthood Organization. Kagwiria, kindly where you are. Kagwiria Kyoga is the person who chaired the conference planning committee, and her team worked tirelessly to make sure that this was a success. I cannot forget to thank the Abstract Review Committee that was led by one Dennis Otundo. Mr. Dennis Otundo, kindly, wherever you are, just raise your hand. He's behind there. Thank you so much for making sure that we had abstracts that made sense to this team. We hope that you enjoyed all the presentation and we all got to learn something. To our partners who contributed financially and materially, I want to remember Planned Parenthood Global because they've been with us since inception, and they've been they are the reason we've had our conferences over the years. IPAS have always made sure that they've supported us financially for us to have a successful conference. Maristops Kenya, thank you so much for working with us. To our network members, like I said during the introduction, our providers come from 38 counties. We have a membership of 487 members who are drawn from the gynecological societies, to the Clinical Officers Council, to the Nurses Association, to the Kenya Medical Association. Thank you so much for closing your facilities, for closing a place where you earn your living from, and decided that you're going to make it a success. We had a total number of 80 representatives from the 38 counties. Thank you so much, because we all know what that means to RHN. To our participants, and kindly allow me to mention all the organizations that have been presented in this conference. In no order, I will start with AMREF Kenya. You sent a team. Thank you so much for your last minute, but you purposed to join us and make this a success. Plan International, you made sure that you brought your program managers from almost all your counties, and you joined us to make this conference a success. LBCT, thank you for sending us your young people. And to the young people, the Secretariat will take care of your dinner. Kindly join us. The 4 ladies from LBCT, the young people, we are going to pay for your dinner. Kindly join us during the dinner. ICRC, thank you for coming and joining us during this great event. AIDSPAN, thank you so much for coming and joining us. AMPAT, thank you, you are the hosts, and I want to combine with Moi Teaching Referral Hospital. We had a team of doctors that decided that they were coming to share with us what happens in MTRH, and the team from AMPAT, thank you so much. And when I say thank you, they came in numbers. I think there were almost 8. NAYA, Kenya. I think that's where our chairman for the Abstract Review Committee came from. Thank you too for sending the young people and for giving them a platform to share what you people are doing for our young people. And then the Kenya SRH Alliance, I think we had a young lady yesterday who was representing the alliance. Thank you too for sending your youth coordinator to come and share what you're doing with the young people in the regions you work in. The Dutch Embassy, they are also our donors. And on day 1, we saw a representative. She is the SRH coordinator from the Dutch Embassy. And they thought it was important for them to join us by not only financing us, but also coming to make sure that they are witnessing our great event. Love Matters, safe, online, sexy. Thank you so much for giving our young people a platform where they can engage and get information on what they need, especially on issues to do with their sexuality. Tika, Antigen, well represented. DSW, the guy with many names, behind there. Thank you so much. I think you are 2 or 3. Asanteni sana. Family Health Options, thank you for supporting someone from the Ministry of Health, Nairobi, and for making sure that she came all the way to share with us the kind of work you're doing in Nairobi County. Moving the goalpost all the way from Kilifi. Asanteni sana. You've always been our partners, and thank you for deciding to also coming down to Eldoret with us. Center for Reproductive Rights. Wakili, Lydia, thank you for representing repro rights. They are always fighting for our reproductive health rights, and we've really worked together in terms of providing legal information to our providers. I think Dr. Nyamu mentioned that we do a lot of abortion work, and it's important for our providers to know and appreciate that there's provision for it in the Constitution. IRC, I know you're also represented, either 1 or 2 persons. Thank you so much. Gradif all the way from Meru, Chuka, Asanteni sana. HIV fact sheet, and you guys tweet about RHN a lot. Please don't stop. Keep on tweeting about our work. Keep on engaging the people on the media about us. We really appreciate. The Youth Advisory Council from Mombasa. Yes. Youth Advisory Council from Mombasa. Yes. Asanteni sana. AAR has always provided insurance for our staff, and for this year they said they were going to support us. They supported us in making sure that this conference was a success. Brand manager Karen Nekesa, we really appreciate. Eaglet Insurance provides indemnity cover to our providers, and they also decided that they were going to appreciate us by supporting our conference. Eaglet, thank you so much. DKT International, you've always provided commodities for our providers, and we also appreciate that you found it worth to join us in Eldoret and support our success. Last but not least, MOH, Bungoma County, Nairobi County, and Uasin Gishu County. Thank you so much for coming to listen and appreciate that you need to work with us, you need to work with non-governmental organizations, and you need to accept that we have issues that are affecting our young people for us to be able to improve access, especially to the government institutions. My apologies if your organization has not been mentioned. We appreciate you all. Finally, allow me to introduce the board. I don't want to be fired. I'm sure you still want to find me here next year. Kindly. Dr. Nyamu.
Nelly, it has been a wonderful time and a day to come here and share everything which has gone from that day up to today. I am humbly amazed for the success, and I have been talking about it. The success has been amazing. It has been amazing to the level whereby even the CEC Health Uasin Gishu can see it. Can we still keep it running? Can we still keep it burning? And then next year, we make it double the way we are today here. Thank you very much for the attendance. Thank you. I am Philip Mololo. I'm the Vice Chair, and I come from the Clinic Officers Council, and that's why I am here, to represent all clinic officers nationally. Thank you.
You have heard about me, Professor Joseph Karanja, who teaches obstetrics and gynecology, and he represents the RHN members from COPS and the KME.
Is it afternoon? Good afternoon. I'm called Rosa Kinyo-Tieno. I'm the Vice Secretary. I run a facility in Nakuru known as Midtown Reproductive Health Center, and I'm very passionate about RHN. This is, I don't know what I can do. That's why they call me Shosh. I'm Shosh, yes, but I'm young at heart. I work with the youth as if I'm also a youth. And today evening, nitawashinda kwa floor.
This is another second introduction. Dr. Nyamo, I represent gynecologists and men and doctors for KMA at RHN. And what else, Prof? And the COGS. And the COGS. COGS, you're a gynecologist. And then that means I'm a gynecologist. And then Medical Association, Kenya Medical Association, I'm a doctor.
Barizenu. I like being called Saimo. But my name is Simon Mwangi. I always feel youngified, and when I see the youth, I always feel nice. And my appeal to you is, I would like to see all of you during dinner. I'm the National Secretary Reproductive Health Network. And I also invite all the members of the network to be in the AGM after lunch.
Thank you so much. Those are my bosses. I did want to go home after this just because they didn't introduce them. Finally, I know I've kept on saying finally for like the first 10 minutes. Now, to our social media guys. We had a social media team that was behind our trending, our Facebook, us going live, us trending at #1. Today, some few hours ago, we were at #2. Give it up to Straight Talk Kenya! Like the Honorable Secretary.